Hello and welcome everyone to the fifth episode of From Both Sides. My guest today is Paulina. Welcome. How's it going?
Fine, yeah, it's fine. It's been a long time actually, but feels like it's been maybe a month, not more, as for me at least.
That's true. So today we're going to talk about something where maybe we don't all want to go, which is red flags. We will also talk about green flags, which is maybe something we want. We are going to talk about everything that we ignore and overlook in the relationship, but also stuff that we want to have. So yeah, let's start with our first segment, as usual, the icebreaker. So how would we just talk to each other and maybe do some rounds of confessions or some icebreaker questions? Are you ready?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, good. So name one red flag you saw and you stayed anyway. I think it depends on where am I in the relationship or in the situationship or whatever it is at the moment and how big the red flag is. I cannot think out the top of my head right now about one specific example, but sometimes I do give people a lot of second chances where it's like, okay, there are certain things where it's unacceptable, but there are certain things where you're like, okay, it's fine, we can talk about it and solve it. Okay, maybe speaking of red flags in general, is there a red flag that people think is a red flag, but you personally don't care about it that much?
Personally started thinking that this whole thing about red flags is overrated, I think, because
Okay.
there are a lot of things that generally not we, like you and me, maybe some people, most of the people think this is a red flag, but I personally think that people are different, and if it's okay for them, I think we'll talk about that, like having female friends for the
Mhm.
man and the guys as the friends, it's a red flag for many people, but for some it's not. I think it
Okay,
depends on
so
you.
that would be your choice.
Yeah, I think of course there are some things that are, I can't say that's a red flag, it's just unacceptable. Something major, I mean, like, I don't know, like addictions maybe, like
Yeah, of course.
physical violence and things like that. Yeah, but I can't say that it's a
That's
red
more than
flag.
a red flag. Yeah,
Yeah, that's not a red flag. And when it comes only to red flags, I don't know, it just depends what you agree on, both of you.
okay. Maybe one more question in the icebreaker round. What's a green flag that nobody gives enough credit to?
That's a good question. And I don't know, really, maybe just being open, being sincere, something like that. But I'm not sure that people don't give enough credit to it. Just something very simple that is usually people take for granted. Something like
So
that,
you
I think.
appreciate honesty and sincerity.
I think it sounds like something very simple, and people think it should be in every relationship, but it's not. And something simple, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's play a little game together. So I will say some statements and then you will tell me it's a red flag, a green flag, or if it's complicated. You cannot answer. You
Mhm.
can escape, but don't use this all the time. Okay. I want some nice answers here.
All right.
Okay. So first one is they still follow their ex and occasionally like their posts.
As for me, I've grown to have only one opinion here. Like, it's a complete red flag for me, and not unacceptable.
Okay,
But a
why?
lot of people live like that. Well, I don't know, maybe because for me, if I start a relationship, it should be something serious where I'm emotionally involved. It's not like a situationship. Like, I love the person very much, and if we broke up, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
It's for a reason, and I see it as other people do it the same way, but I'm sure they don't. Not all of them, yeah. And as for me, if you follow them, if you
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's fair enough. Okay, next one. They talk about their exes constantly, but always as a cautionary example, like something which isn't.
And I think, yeah, for me, again, it's also a red flag, and it will become
Okay.
annoying at some point over time. Maybe even at first, I'm like, okay, not that bad. I think over time, it will get annoying.
Okay. One pretty easy, I guess. They apologize genuinely, fully, and without making it about themselves.
Yeah, I think it's obvious. That's a good thing all people should
Yeah,
have.
that's a green flag, right? That's obvious. That's an easy one. Okay. They've never been in a relationship for more than 6 months.
Yeah, I'm curious
Think
about
I should
about
have
your
something
opinion.
red here to wave. There's a guy on Instagram that has this big red flag and he runs all over the place with a big red flag. I want to have that right now and just do this.
Yeah, I would be very hypocritical to say that because I'm the red flag in that
My
case.
God, you are the red flag. Okay. I think
That's
it's.
why for
Mm,
me, of course, it's not
I'm judging
a
you
red
right now.
flag. Whatever, I don't care.
Okay, then maybe because you do it, you can tell us why.
Well, I think it would be good for a separate topic
Okay,
for staying single. Okay, briefly, why I
briefly.
wouldn't say it's a red flag for any person, because to me personally, it's more of a green over a red flag if a person finishes the relationship and then starts a new one again and again, over and over again, even if all of these relationships they're long. For
Fair enough.
people that think that the person who hasn't been in a relationship for more than 6 months, it's a red flag. But for me, even if they have long relationship, but they have many of them, for me it's worse, way worse, because personally I think that it's really important to be able to stay alone, not necessarily single, but like I feel comfortable with myself. It doesn't mean that I would never let somebody in my life. I think I will. I don't think that it will be very easy. I will have a lot of changes that way, but I'm ready for them. I'm old enough. I have my job, my hobbies, everything like that. So I should be the whole person. And I don't want to feel this, I don't know, whole void with somebody else. So, and that's why for me it's a red flag if a person can't stay single
Yeah,
for some time. Because I
yeah.
think, yeah, maybe, maybe that's a
No,
bad thing to
that's a
say
good
that.
one. That's a good red flag. That you at the beginning you said there's something. I asked you this question and you didn't mention it, but now you did, which means that's your red flag. It's when someone keeps jumping from one relationship to another without
Yeah,
being
so
single.
yeah, I think it's the opposite. Yeah, I thought that no, I wanted to say like maybe it's a bad thing to say, but I think I'm a very nice person and that I like being alone with myself. I'm very interesting to be around. That's why I can't understand people who don't like this feeling.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I guess now we can move to our main topic, or
Okay.
the
Yeah.
main segment, segment two. Let's try to understand why we see the warning signs and we override them, we ignore them, right? And why we miss the good signs, so the green flags. In general, I think, as you said at the beginning, the red flags and green flags are misused. Generally, red flags more. That everything is a red flag. Oh, he didn't text me back right away. That's a red flag. He didn't offer, I don't know, to come pick me up from an airport which is 3 hours away. That's a red flag. Everything that is happening is a red flag. What do you think about it?
Yeah, in general, I think it's wrong to trying to put people in categories, like
Mm-hmm.
categorize, making everything simple. Because unfortunately, maybe fortunately, the world is not like black and white; it has
True,
different shades.
true.
So that's why, yeah, we can't say like break up with this person. It's a red flag. It's unacceptable. Well, you should talk with each other and agree on things. If it's unacceptable for you, then of course you shouldn't be together. And for him, it's okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Let's try to break it down a bit. Let's maybe focus first on the red flags. Why do we rationalize behavior we know is wrong?
Well, I think that we briefly talked about that in maybe in the first episode when I said, remember the saying like all guys are the same when you have the first date. All guys in the world, they're the same. Of course, it's a bit exaggerated, yeah. But generally, I think, yeah, we want to look maybe not perfect, but better, to not to point out bad things about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe because we're shy, maybe because we like the person so much, we don't want to uh,
So
turn
you
them
think we try
down.
to reflect what we think is the best behavior also in the other person? So we don't. So we try to ignore the red
Oh,
flags
I think
that we
we
see.
all have these red, not red flag, green flags in our head. Like the
Mm-hmm.
person is a jealous type, yeah, and he knows
Okay.
this about himself, yeah. Would
Okay.
he show this on the first date? Well, probably not, yeah.
Okay.
When he finds out that the girl has many male friends,
Mm-hmm.
he probably wouldn't make it a big deal on the first
Okay.
date, especially if he
And
likes her.
let's now take maybe the opinion of the girl. If she finds out that he's such a jealous guy, and for her that's a red flag, but she still stays with him, why does she do that in your opinion?
I think she thinks that it's not that serious. Like being
Okay.
jealous, you know how people say being jealous a bit, it's okay. It's even healthy
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way, yeah? Because
Yeah.
you are interested in this person, you are not, I forgot the word, indifferent, yeah? You're not indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing. Yeah, I agree with that, yeah, but to what extent?
Yeah. So you're saying there's a difference between a red flag and a complete deal breaker, right? In your
Yeah,
opinion.
in this way, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think there is a big difference between a red flag and a deal breaker, a full deal breaker. Because as we said before, I think a red flag is, okay, a behavior or something specific which you don't like or you don't want to see. But a deal breaker is, as you said before, I don't know, cheating or drugs or whatever, like something that completely ends the relationship, not a little thing which maybe you don't like, but could probably still survive with. I mean, now a question to both of us, but an idea to both of us. So, do you think men and women have different red flags as behaviors? So they see different red flags in each other? You can start
I
as the
think
lady.
so. Thank you. um, I'm not sure if it's a good thing. Maybe I would have more time to think.
More time to think. Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I'm kind of ready. I think so. I think so. Yeah, I agree with that. And we also talked about it. I know
Mm-hmm.
we're going to repeat ourselves more and more times the more we we talk about that. Women, most of them, at least here, they would not judge you, but well, they would ask you about your job. Not direct how much you earn, not something like that, but just about your
Okay.
job, about your ambitions, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Men, at least here, I don't think that most of them would ask about that.
Yeah.
And if a girl says that she's unemployed right now, it wouldn't be a red flag for him, but for her, it definitely
Yeah,
would
it
be a
would be a
red
big red
flag.
flag. That is true. Actually, I keep seeing this also online from people, from men generally, that men don't care that much what a girl does as a job. She could be a waitress or the president of the United States. They don't care as long as the relationship is good and everything is going well. While women would definitely care, as you said, what you're doing right now. If you're
And I
unemployed,
think there is a new trend, and I like it in a way. Like before, as I said, a girl could say that she's unemployed, or maybe she doesn't want to work, and for the majority of men here, it would be fine. But now I keep hearing more and more from famous guys who have money, who can provide them. Like they don't care about money that much, but they say like, I don't want her to have a job, but I would want her to have something that she likes doing, even if it's like making
a
candles.
hobby.
I don't
Yeah,
know, like
exactly. Making
helping,
candles.
yeah, helping animal shelter, something like that. So she has a hobby, she's passionate about something, and
Yeah.
that's a green
That
flag.
is true. That is true. I would think, yeah, I think for the question, do men and women see it or have different red flags? I also agree, yes. One thing is what you just mentioned now. Another thing could be, for example, friendships in general. I think a lot of men think that she has a lot of male friends, as you mentioned. That's not a good thing. That's a red flag. In my opinion, it's not, because I also have female friends. So to me, if you cannot have friends from the other gender, that's the red flag for me. So if a girl comes and says, "Oh, you have too many girlfriends," I'll be like, "Yeah, and you don't have any male friends? That's a problem." Like I cannot be friends with someone who doesn't have male friends in general, or even in
That's
a
interesting.
relationship with them.
But that's your personal red flag.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion. I'm not representing all men. And also, my personal opinion is I also don't agree with this thing where men shouldn't care about what the other person does or like the woman does. In the world today, what you do matters. I couldn't be with someone, for example, who does certain jobs or who does certain things. Like if I don't agree with what they do, I cannot be with them. There's certain values, certain things where you don't agree. Maybe the question is not more about money, it's more about ambition also, but also, okay, maybe you're not career oriented. That's also fine if the other person agrees with that. But in my opinion, that you don't have a job at all is a big red flag to me. Like if you are not handicapped, you're fully able and could do anything, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have learned and
sure.
studied and whatever, and you're not employed out of choice, to me that's a red flag. You could be working but you're not. No, you say, okay, I was fired, I was whatever, etc. There's a million reasons. That's not. Anyway, we steered from the topic, but
No, that's okay.
maybe let's talk a bit of green flags right now to change the mood a bit. The green flags we undervalue. Why do safe, consistent, emotionally available people get called boring?
Well, for
A
me
deep
personally, it's
philosophical
not
question.
boring.
Okay, good.
It's not that philosophical. I think, well, to me, I don't understand why these people are boring. If it's just that, yeah. I was thinking, I had some kind of opinion here. For me, it's not boring, but if you are like 20, 18, of course, yeah, not all of you, most of you need and want more emotions. And that's why you don't appreciate it that much. But when you become older, I think that's, for most people, it's not a red flag. It's not called boring. I think it's fine. Yeah, but what I was thinking about, if it's just that, but maybe we'll talk about that when we'll be answering another question. I don't know, but I can start it here. I was thinking about that when people say that he's a nice person, he's a good person, he's I don't know, it's comfortable being with him, it's peaceful, something like that. If it's just that, to me, it's also it's not enough. Not because there is not enough emotions, not because of that, but because it should be some. I don't know if I'm making it clear. Like if for a girl, a guy is just a good person and she's not, I don't know, attracted to him in different ways. Let's say that. To me, it's not enough. It doesn't mean it's boring. It's just this person is not for you. I hate to hear such stories when people say, I can't break up with him. He's such a nice person. He treats me so well. He cares about me and things like that. And she should break up with him, not because he's boring, but because you're not suitable for each other, if
Yeah,
it makes
I think I
sense.
understand.
Okay.
So, okay, let's move on with another question about green flags. Is emotional maturity actually attractive, or do we just say it is?
Yeah, I think it's attractive, and not just attractive, it's normal. It's what all people should have, at least at a certain age, when you're over this age. I mean, it's okay if you're young, wild, and don't have that
And free.
when you're yes, young, free. But at a certain age, it just looks not healthy. I would say that, and
That is true. What do you think in general makes people, like, what do you think makes a green flag in action, not just in theory? Like, what is a green flag?
I think a green flag is something you look for in a person.
Okay.
Because I've met some different people, and for them, things that they thought it's okay and it should be present in every relationship. For me, it was a red flag. Like,
Okay.
it just something I look for in a person, and for me, it's a green flag. But I don't know. Should I give some examples? I'm not
Go
sure,
ahead.
but something as you said about maturity, that we have the same values. Yeah, values. We have. I don't know, aims, like we want to have a family, both of us. We both want to have our ambitions, our jobs, things like that. Something very simple, but for me it's important. For some people it's not. And for them it wouldn't be a green flag.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. I can comment again on this from my point of view. Yeah, for example, this topic of not being able to have friends from the opposite sex, to me that's a big red flag, and I cannot ignore that. Even if I wanted to, I cannot, because then it will really impact me. I value my friends. I have had friends since I was super young from school, and they're like sisters to me, so I cannot have someone come and tell me that you cannot be friends with them anymore. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, that you finished, yeah?
Yeah.
About that. I wanted to say about that, I was thinking about that a lot, because before I thought it's okay to have male friends. I'm not saying it's not. After that, yeah, I just wanted to say, like, understand why some people don't like that, and it's a red
Okay.
flag for them. Because,
Why?
well, at least in my life, a friendship I have with a guy and the friendship I have with a girl, it's completely different. Well, at least that's how it is for me. If I'm talking about my girlfriend, female friend, of course, I'm in Russia, only female friend, I can say that we can talk to each other up all night. We can go to some other city and stay in the same room, like sleep in the same bed, things like that.
Yeah, of course.
And to
Of
me,
course.
yeah, it's obvious,
You
but
cannot do that
some people,
with a guy friend. Yeah, of course.
yeah, of
But
course,
this is exactly why I think you need both friendships. Because in my
but they're
opinion,
different. I
yeah,
can't say
exactly.
that they're the same in my life.
Exactly, but this is exactly why I believe that there should be this friendship between men and women, because they are completely different friendships than between men and men. Because if you don't have that, then you only see women as a romantic object or a sexual object or whatever, but you don't have the friend object, and that object, sorry, as a friend relationship. But I think that's really valuable, because, yeah, as you said, there are certain things which I can do with my guy friends that I cannot do with my female friends. But there are certain things which I can do with my female friends that I cannot do with my guy friends. And this is exactly what I like about these type of friendships, is there are certain things which are completely understood and okay, and certain things which are not. And that's fine. I mean, you cannot, as you said, go and sleep in the same bed with all your friends, even if they're girls. But specifically, there are certain girls which you would do that, and that's fine, and that's acceptable.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
that's true. Because for me, I'm talking about not just a friend.
Yeah, your best
Remember,
friend.
we were talking about that
Yeah.
In my podcast, how this definition is different in other countries, cultures. Yeah, like for me, I'm talking about the best friend.
Yeah.
If I say I have a best friend who is a guy, then it depends if it's possible. The best friend, the bestest of the friends, and it's a guy. Like, I have a very close friend, only one, a guy friend, that I can say he's a true friend of mine if he's watching this.
Okay. That's great.
If he does.
That's great.
But there are some circumstances that I think it's acceptable. If it's acceptable if I have a boyfriend, I think he wouldn't mind that much. But that's the only example. And I know many examples when I understand why boyfriends don't like guy friends. Yeah. and in the friendship that I wouldn't like myself if my boyfriend had this kind of friendship with
Yeah,
his
yeah, of
friend.
course. I mean, if you said, okay, I'm going with my guy friend and we will sleep together in the same bed in some other city, yeah, your boyfriend will not be happy about that, right?
Yeah, what we
But
call a friend, it can be different. I can call a friend like I have colleagues, and we regularly go somewhere, go out with each other.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
not just the two of us, but maybe five of us,
Yeah,
three
yeah,
of
yeah.
us. Yeah, it's a different situation. But when I say, for me, when I say it's my friend, it means like it's my true friend. I call him or her every day. I can call them if something
Yeah, I guess
important
we're
happens.
back to the definition of what is a friend and what is an acquaintance. There
Yeah,
isn't,
that's why
I
I
think
say I
acquaintance
understand
is,
why it's a red
yeah.
flag.
I
Yeah.
think acquaintance is such a low level. Like, yeah, I just met the guy yesterday. That's an acquaintance. But I think for us guys, it's, at least for me personally, I call friends most of the people that I've known and talked to for a while. And then, okay, there's best friends and there's bros and whatever. But that's a different level, right? But yeah, that's fair, I guess. Okay, maybe we can move on to segment 3. Let's look at some hot takes and we will decide what we think about them. If you noticed a red flag and stayed, you don't get surprised. You don't get to be surprised by the outcome. So you don't have the right to say, oh, I didn't see it coming.
I think it's I don't know, both. I agree and disagree with that.
Okay.
At some point, of course, yeah, that's true. I disagree. I can't say that I disagree, but I understand why people are like that, because we all people who make mistakes. We get too emotional. We get emotionally attached.
So that's okay. Next hot take. Every red flag you ignore becomes a new standard you're settling for yourself.
Yeah, I think it can be that way in the future, at least from what I've seen. That no, maybe not like a limit, but something that they ignored in the beginning, as we said, like people want to ignore some things because they like the person, they're emotionally attached. Later, many years later, it became
Mm-hmm.
so obvious that they couldn't ignore it anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
that's the
I
same.
think I don't agree that it will be a standard. So if you ignore it once, it doesn't mean you will accept it forever. And also, it doesn't mean that if you ignore it in one relationship, you will ignore it in everyone. Because after maybe you break up or whatever, next time it happens, it will actually be something you look for and say, no, this is not acceptable from the beginning. So I think the problems that we face or the red flags that we see, they actually help us to not fall in the same traps again.
I think before we just called that like our standards. I have some standards. I have some things that I want, but we just didn't call it red flags or green flags.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's
That's
it.
true. That's true. That's true. Um, okay, one which is I'm super curious about because this is something that a lot of women do. Um, the red flag is a checklist. Nobody that is real survives a checklist. What do you think about people who have a checklist for their partners?
In what way? Like, I mean, first I wanted to say like, no, it's bad. These are like girls from Instagram. They have a checklist, and people they are more complicated. It's not that easy.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, yeah, that's true. But I thought that it's okay to have some kind of checklist when you are not in a relationship, you are single, and you are thinking about your standards like before you met
Mm-hmm.
someone, something
Yeah.
like that, because I think it helps. Yeah, I've seen it it being a good thing when people met this exact person. Like it wasn't like that they were looking for a perfect person that doesn't exist. No, at the end it was like they met the person that they wanted, and the limits they stated, they I don't know how to say, played out, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like in
Yeah,
a
I
way,
also
yeah, I
agree.
agree.
I also agree that it's, yeah, you shouldn't have a very specific checklist of a billion things. You will not find that person because it will be like 1% or something on earth that fulfills your checklist. There's no perfect person and you will not find someone who is completely perfect, but as you said, you should have some standards. You should have some idea of who you want to be with and accept maybe certain things that are not perfect for you, but also don't compromise on things that you want. And that's, I guess, what a checklist is. But not in a way that, okay, he checks all the boxes, I can date him now. It's more about look for the things that you care about, look for the things you want in a person, in a partner, and focus on those. Yeah. Then I guess we can move on to our fourth segment, our listener corner. So we've got a couple of stories here from our listeners. The first one is, I met someone incredible. 3 months in, I found out they cheated in their last 2 relationships. They said they've changed. Everyone I know says leave, but they have been nothing but consistent with me. Am I naive, or I'm okay? Is it okay to give this person a chance?
Yeah, it sounds exactly like the story one of my close friends had. Like
Okay.
exactly the same. Yeah. Like she wrote it.
Maybe she
Yeah,
did.
that's why I think
We
yeah,
don't
I
know.
think I can share the outcome of such situations because I think she would give me
Green pass, a pass to see it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she told this story to so many people when she was angry. And we discussed
Okay,
it
that's
so
fair.
many times. That's why I think that it's not a bad thing sharing this. Yeah, she had a relationship. It was her first relationship. It was actually yeah. That's probably again, as I said, about our future podcast sometime in the future about staying single for a long time, having a relationship in a later age when you're
Mm-hmm.
older. Yeah, something like that. So it was her first relationship. She was over 20. I don't remember exactly how old. No, not that old because we are both 26, as you can tell. Yeah, and the guy, she dated him for 3 maybe years, a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and only after they broke up, she told me this because she didn't want to share this. Because she understood, I think some parts of her understood that people would say leave. It's
Mm-hmm.
unacceptable. That he told her that he cheated in his previous relationship. Yeah, and
Okay.
I said like, and what did you think about that? Were you scared? Were you anxious that it would happen to you too? And she said like, well, I did. We were talking about that. Like in the beginning, we tried to ignore the red flags. And she said, yeah, I tried to ignore it. And I thought that if I choose this person, that means I should trust him and I shouldn't be anxious. And like, it's a good thing. Like, if I decide, if I choose this person, it's my choice. And like, no one made me date him, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and well, at least from what we know, he also cheated on her. And it was a very, very long time, like for more than a year, something like that.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was not right in trusting him.
Uh, no, she was wrong. Yeah, she was wrong in trusting him. That's why. And like to me, um, that's another topic. Yeah, like do people really change? Like
Yeah.
I think that if the person cheated in their relationship when they were, I don't know, like 16, 18, and 20, and they are now over 30, then maybe there's a chance that they were naive. They didn't take it seriously. They wanted to, I don't know, like stay single, enjoy it, meet different people. But like, some people have a relationship starting at school like at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
age of
That's true.
14, and they have a very long period of that relationship when in reality they wanted to be single, but they also want to keep this person close by. Yeah, like I understand how it happens to people. And if they cheated at a very young age and now they are over 30, I actually I want to believe that people change in that way. Yeah, but if he cheated
Me
like
too.
a year ago in his previous relationship, and he also I'm trying to not be so emotional, but why would he even tell her that? Like he was so
Yeah.
sure himself she wouldn't leave. It wouldn't be a red flag for her. Maybe he was so sure, or maybe he was so stupid to
Yeah.
be
A
to do
bit of
that.
both. I think a bit of both. Yeah. I think here you cannot judge, but you also cannot not judge. You have to take this into consideration. It's like someone telling you, I've killed a person before. and you're like, well, can you do it again? Or it's like it's cheating, okay, well, stealing, whatever it is. Like if you've done something in the past, there might be a percentage that you do it again. As you said, it's all there's a reason behind it, or there is a excuse behind it, or there is a certain time, etc., etc.
And
I
one more
don't agree
thing,
with cheating, of course, but
like
yeah,
how do they tell you? I mean, in a way that I regret it so much. I was so stupid. Like I shouldn't have done that. Or they're just saying like casually, like it just
yeah,
happened.
exactly. Like, by the way, I cheated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he was telling her because he was cheating on her, and he wanted to see how she reacts. And when she didn't leave, then he was like,
Wait,
"Okay, I can do it,"
you mean like
like a
he
test.
knew that he would cheat later?
Yeah, or he was trying to, or he was already cheating, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna tell her, but I'm gonna tell her about my past relationship, not
But
about us."
the way how we all found out, it wasn't because he said. He never confessed actually, even when she
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
him
that's
straight
what I'm
away.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like he didn't tell her that he cheated on her, but he told her that he cheated on the girl before her to
No,
see
no,
how she would react.
he told her that he cheated, and it was like at the start of the relationship, like only when it just
Okay,
started. Yeah. And
okay,
well, of course, we don't know if he cheated before, but for a fact, we know that he did for the last year of their relationship.
okay.
Maybe 2 other years he didn't, but we don't know that, and she doesn't also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another story from our listeners. My last relationship was chaotic but passionate. My new partner is calm, consistent, and treats me so well. But I keep waiting for something to go wrong. I find myself creating drama where there isn't any. Is something wrong with me?
Well, to me, if I was in that situation, yeah, I would say that something is wrong. It shouldn't be like that. But I also had such friend, and she wanted to have an emotional relationship, like something that's actually something that she had growing up. Like her parents also, they argued very emotionally with, I don't know, breaking plates and things like that. And to me, it's unacceptable. But she looked for that in a relationship, and she found the person, and it's fine. We don't talk anymore, but I think they are suitable for each other. And in that case, I think that these people should stay together. They shouldn't be with other people who
Yeah,
don't like
exactly.
that.
They should take the people who did not take the people who are
Exactly.
calm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
eh,
go ahead.
yeah, in this story, I think, like to me, both situations are not exactly good. Like, when we talk about my type of character, being with an emotional partner, having a very emotional relationship, and it's just it's
Mhm.
not healthy to me. But also,
Yep.
as I said, being in a relationship with a person who's just a good person, he cares about me, but we don't have that chemistry. It's also wrong to me. I would say that.
Okay, but then how do you define this chemistry then? Could it be this chemistry without it being passionate and emotional? You've got to have something there, right?
To me, I define it like we should be sexually attracted to each other. So I don't want to be
Okay.
friends with him. Let's say that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm,
for sure.
mm, yeah. That it doesn't mean
Okay.
that it's only that. It's the only
Yeah.
criteria. Of course not.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a very
of
important one.
course.
Well, of course not for all people, yeah, but still, I would say that.
Yeah, I agree there. I think she's a bit misled here. I think she should talk to a therapist or a psychologist because it's not healthy to always seek conflict and seek drama. I know that a lot of girls want this, but this is not healthy for you. You should be okay in a normal, happy, healthy relationship. As you said, if there's sexual attraction and emotional satisfaction, then it's fine. If there isn't, okay, that's a different problem. But you shouldn't always seek toxic and manipulative behavior and chaotic behavior just to feel like you're living something. This is definitely a red flag on your behalf. So go check yourself out.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So maybe let's move on to our final segment. Some closing thoughts from both of our sides. Let's look at how real love should feel like. So yeah, I just talked about it a bit now. I think real love should be, yeah, emotional. It should be all englobing. So you should feel that you're in love. You should also at the beginning, of course, have these, butterflies or this anxiety a bit or this attraction that maybe becomes more deep as you go, but a bit less stressful, a bit less chaotic as the relationship continues. But you should always, of course, be attracted to them. What are some thoughts from your side?
Was thinking that real love should be peaceful, maybe. It should have some tranquility. Like when you don't worry if the person is not faithful to you, if he leaves you tomorrow or not, if you break up in a week and things like that. Of course, life is not is not perfect, and people have conflicts and have some situations where they start questioning their lives, their relationships. Yeah, but just generally being you feel at peace. Can we say that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I want to mention one red flag and one green flag, maybe from both of our sides, to end this, that we like and we don't like. For example, a green flag, you mentioned this before, you think it's normal, but I don't see it in a lot of people anymore. Like being a genuinely a nice person. Like there are some people that are genuinely nice people. Like you meet them and you're like, okay, that person is really nice, a really sweet, nice, gentle person. I really like that. That's a big green flag to me. Sorry. That's sure. It should be that everyone is like that, but in reality, a lot of people are not like that. So to me, that's a big green flag. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. With that one, something that is so simple but is not evident
Do you have other
most
green
times.
flags that you like?
I think, of course, probably there are many of them that I don't
Hmm.
find. I don't think of them like they're the green flags. I think this is normal things, as you said. Like the person is kind. The person I don't know, likes animals, likes children also. Yeah, because to me personally, that's a red flag. And I know, this one actually is, many people have it. And I get so annoyed when I keep watching the videos of, what are they? Like people filming children, screaming children in the planes. Yeah, and
Hmm.
they all have some kind of opinion on that. I understand situations when children are just being disobedient, but when they are little, I also feel so sorry for them because they are in the situation they don't want to be. And yeah, I feel bad. For moms who are judged just because they took their small child somewhere and things like that, and they feel so bad. And I think for me it would be the reddest flag of all if a person doesn't like children. He yeah, in this kind of situation, because so many people are like that. Yeah, this is, I don't know why I remembered about that.
No, that's fair enough. I agree as well. I think, yeah, it's annoying, of course, to have a screaming baby, but I mean, we have like voice canceling earphones, and everyone has these nowadays. Just put them, and their kids will continue crying, and it will happen. Their parents are dealing with it if they can do something about it. Some parents are negligent and don't do it, but yeah, in general, I think this is
uh,
not a big deal.
and do you think it has to do something with the general, as you said, kindness, being a nice person? Like, I understand that people are different. There are old people, there are children, animals, and I live in the world where I have all
Hmm.
of that, and I should accept it. Something like that.
Yeah, I think it has to do with something very important, which is people are think that everything belongs to them. Like they don't know how to act in a public space. They think, "Oh, I'm in an airplane. If you bother me, you're bothering me," as if you own the whole airplane because you bought a ticket. You
Yeah,
know.
but it's not a
Um,
private jet. Yeah.
no, exactly. Like they feel entitled to, okay, you shouldn't bother me, or you shouldn't eat loudly or speak or whatever or do something. yeah, it could be annoying. You can also talk to them and say, hey, please lower your voice or whatever. I think from both sides, it should be that people respect others and don't bother other people. But at the same time, you should also accept that some people are maybe loud or they have kids or whatever. That you also don't think that, oh, I'm in a plane. No one should bother me right now.
Yeah,
Everything
and
should go as I
I
want.
think yeah, I think the same goes to the rule. The green flag is when you see how the person treats people who, I don't know, serve you at the restaurant, maybe the cafe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something. It seems so simple, but this is the red flag that you shouldn't ignore. If the person looks up at people and thinks that he or she they're better than them. I
yeah,
think yeah, it's so
yeah. If they
simple
look
but
down at people and think
obvious.
that they're better than them, I think that's not acceptable at all. That's a big red flag, and I think that's it shows you that yeah, what they think of others, like not being humble, being arrogant, thinking that you're better than everyone. That's a big red flag that I agree with as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in general, I think we should stop romanticizing people who make us feel like we have to earn this consistency, the passion or the love, but also at the same time, we should not ignore um, big red flags in our lives. So be careful what you wish for, be mindful of what you want, but at the same time, don't ignore the big red flags. Act on it.
Yeah, I would say that don't be afraid to set your standards, but don't judge people straight away when you meet them. You should get to know each other better. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Actually, we talked about that as well. The talking stage was super nice. Um, yeah, and maybe a message to our listeners. Please write down in the comments the most embarrassing thing you saw, or a red flag you didn't like, or a green flag that you saw. And yeah, we'll reach out to you as well and collect your stories. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Paulina, for joining me on this episode. It was really fun to have this with you.
Yeah, thank you. If no one is annoyed with me already.
No, no one is. Otherwise, they wouldn't watch us anyway. Thank you
Yeah.
so much again, and bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.